My beloved child, I need you to stop everything right now and listen to what I am about to tell you. This is not a suggestion, this is not advice. This is a direct command from the throne room of heaven, spoken specifically over your life in this exact moment, and if you hear nothing else today, hear this. I am asking you to stay silent. Do not speak a word. Do not defend yourself. Do not explain yourself. Do not justify yourself. Just be still and watch what I am about to do. I know this feels impossible. I know every fiber of your being is screaming to respond, to correct the narrative, to stand up for yourself. You have been misunderstood, misrepresented, and maligned. People who were supposed to protect you have betrayed you. Those who were supposed to stand with you have turned against you. Your character has been questioned. Your motives have been twisted, your heart has been misread, and now you sit here, torn between the urge to defend yourself and this inexplicable pull to stay quiet. I know what you are thinking. How can I stay silent when they are lying about me? How can I hold my peace when my reputation is being destroyed? How can I keep my mouth shut when everything in me is screaming to set the record straight? How can I just sit here and let them win? These are not just questions. They are warfare in your mind. They are the very battle you are being called to win. I understand that tension. I feel that frustration. I see that battle raging inside you. Every morning you wake up with a tightness in your chest. Every night you replay the conversations, rehearsing what you should have said. Your mind is exhausted from defending yourself in imaginary arguments. Your heart is heavy from carrying the weight of unjust accusations. But listen carefully, your silence is not weakness. It is warfare. Your quietness is not surrender. It is strategy. Your stillness is not cowardice. It is courage of the highest order. What looks like passivity to the natural eye is actually authority in the spirit realm. What feels like defeat in your emotions is actually positioning for victory. What seems like you are letting them get away with it is actually me setting them up for a reckoning they cannot escape. Right now, in this very moment, I am doing something in the invisible realm that your eyes cannot see. Angels are moving, enemies are being confused, doors are being unlocked, battles are being fought on your behalf. But all of it requires one thing from you, your silence. Because the moment you open your mouth to defend yourself, you take the battle out of my hands and put it back in yours, and trust me, you do not want to do that, because what I can do in your situation is infinitely greater than anything you could ever accomplish with your words. You have been asking me for vindication. You have been crying out for justice. You have been begging me to expose the lies and reveal the truth, and I am about to do exactly that. But not through your voice, through mine, not through your defense, through my demonstration, not through your explanation. Through my elevation, I am about to lift you so high that everyone who came against you will have no choice but to acknowledge that my hand is on your life. But this miracle requires your cooperation. It requires you to close your mouth and open your faith. Think about this for a moment. Every time you have tried to defend yourself in the past, how did it work out? Did it change anyone's mind? Did it stop the gossip? Did it restore your reputation, or did it just make things worse? Did it give them more ammunition? Did it prove to them that they got under your skin? Your words have never been the solution. They have always been part of the problem, because you keep trying to win a spiritual battle with natural weapons, and that will never work. Here is what I need you to understand. The people who are attacking you right now are not your real enemy. They are just being used by your real enemy. The devil knows he cannot destroy you directly, so he sends people to provoke you, to push your buttons, to get you talking when I told you to stay quiet. Because he understands something that many of my children have not figured out yet. One emotional outburst can delay a blessing by months. One defensive word can close a door I was opening. One moment of reaction can cancel years of preparation. So he studies you. He watches what triggers you. He knows exactly which person to send, which lie to whisper, which memory to resurrect to get you out of position. That family member who always brings up your past. That coworker who questions everything you do. That friend who betrayed your trust. They are not acting on their own. They are being used as instruments to make you break your silence. Because the enemy knows that if he can get you to speak out of emotion instead of anointing, he can sabotage everything I have been building in your life. Let me show you how sophisticated his tactics have become. He knows the exact time of day when you are most vulnerable, that moment right before bed when your mind is tired and your defenses are down. That early morning hour when you first wake up and check your phone. He knows which platform to use. A text message that will make you react immediately. A social media post designed to trigger you publicly. An email that arrives right before an important meeting. He understands timing better than most believers understand prayer. He also knows which lies will hit hardest, the ones that question your intentions, the ones that attack your character, the ones that make you doubt whether you are even hearing my voice correctly. He will whisper, if you really were chosen, this would not be happening to you. If you really were called, people would recognize it. If you really were anointed, you would not be going through this, and if you are not careful, you will open your mouth to defend yourself against accusations I never asked you to address. Here is the setup he uses most effectively. He will let you endure attacks for weeks, building up pressure like a volcano ready to erupt. Then he will send one more person to say one more thing, and that will be the moment he expects you to explode. He is counting on your silence breaking at that precise moment. Why? Because he knows that everything I have been positioning during your season of quiet will be scattered the moment you speak prematurely. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, and he is desperately trying to get you to sabotage it right before it manifests. But I am about to turn the tables. I am about to expose his strategy and give you the blueprint for victory, and it starts with understanding that your silence is not passive, it is powerful. It is not defensive, it is offensive. Because every time you choose to stay quiet when everything in you wants to explode, you are making a declaration in the spirit realm that is louder than any words you could ever speak. You are saying, I trust God more than I trust my own ability to defend myself. I believe His justice is better than my justification. I know His vindication is greater than my validation, and when I hear that kind of trust, when I see that kind of faith, when I witness that kind of obedience, I move, I show up. I show out, I do things that defy explanation. I open doors that were welded shut, I shift atmospheres that felt permanent. I turn enemies into allies. I transform mockery into ministry. I convert pain into purpose. But I can only do this when you give me the space to work, and you give me that space by staying silent. Now let me show you something that is going to change how you see this entire situation. Go back to the story of Joseph. Young, gifted, favored by his father, chosen by me for greatness. But he made one critical mistake. He shared his dreams too soon. He spoke when he should have stayed silent, and that premature revelation triggered 13 years of suffering that could have been avoided. His own brothers turned against him. He was sold into slavery, he was falsely accused, he was thrown into prison. All because he opened his mouth at the wrong time. But here is what most people miss about Joseph's story. The silence he was forced into during those 13 years was not punishment, it was preparation. In that silence, I was building something in him that could never be built in comfort. I was developing character that could carry the weight of the palace. I was forging integrity that could not be compromised by power. I was creating a man who could stand before Pharaoh without fear and interpret dreams without pride. And when the time came for him to speak, his words carried so much authority that they shaped the destiny of an entire nation. Let me break this down even further, because this is critical for where you are right now. In Potiphar's house, when his wife falsely accused Joseph, he could have defended himself. He could have explained what really happened. He could have demanded a fair trial. But Scripture says he remained silent. He let his character speak louder than his words. And even though he ended up in prison for a crime he did not commit, that prison was actually a divine appointment with his destiny. In that dungeon he met the cupbearer who would eventually introduce him to Pharaoh. His silence did not stop his promotion, it positioned him for it. Then in prison, for 2 more years after interpreting the cupbearer's dream, Joseph waited in silence, no complaints, no bitterness, no demanding to be remembered, just quiet faithfulness. And when Pharaoh finally called for him, Joseph did not walk into that throne room with resentment about his past. He walked in with authority for his future. His 13 years of forced silence had matured him from a boy who bragged about dreams into a man who could be trusted with the interpretation of a nation's fate. Your silence is doing the same thing right now. While you are being forced to stay quiet, I am building something in you that will shock the world. I am developing muscles you did not know you needed. I am removing weaknesses you did not know you had. I am stripping away the immaturity that would sabotage your next level. I am teaching you the difference between reacting and responding, between defending and demonstrating, between talking about your calling and walking in your calling. I am preparing you for a level of influence that would crush you if I gave it to you today. So the silence is not about silencing you. It is about strengthening you. It is not about taking away your voice. It is about making sure that when you finally do speak, your words will carry weight that cannot be ignored. Look at Moses standing at the Red Sea with Pharaoh's army behind him and the water in front of him. The people were panicking, they were screaming. They were blaming him for bringing them to this place. And in that moment of chaos, I gave him a command that made no natural sense. Tell the people to be still. Tell them to stop talking. Tell them to watch what I am about to do. And in their silence I parted the sea. In their stillness, I made a way where there was no way. In their quietness, I demonstrated my power in a way that would be remembered for generations. But let me tell you what happened in the moments before the sea parted. There was a gap, a space of time where they were silent but nothing was happening yet. They could hear the horses getting closer. They could feel the ground shaking under the weight of the approaching army. They could see the water still standing as a wall in front of them. In that gap, their faith was tested, their obedience was weighed, their trust was measured. Would they stay silent, even when silence seemed like surrender? Would they remain still even when stillness felt like suicide? Would they trust my word even when circumstances contradicted it? That gap is where you are right now. You have been silent. You have held your peace. You have trusted my instruction. But nothing seems to be changing yet. The attacks are still coming. The lies are still spreading. The situation looks worse, not better. And you are wondering if you heard me correctly. Should you really stay quiet? Is your silence actually helping or hurting? Did you misunderstand what I was saying? Let me settle this right now. You did not mishear me. Your silence is not passive, it is potent. And what you cannot see in the natural is that the sea is about to part. You are standing at your Red Sea right now. Behind you is everything that was chasing you. In front of you is an obstacle that seems impossible to cross, and all around you are voices telling you what you should do, what you should say, how you should respond. But I am giving you the same command I gave Moses: be still. Stay silent. Watch what I am about to do, because the miracle you are about to witness will not come through your striving. It will come through your surrendering. It will not manifest through your words. It will manifest through your worship in the form of obedience. Now let me tell you something about the walls of Jericho. For 6 days, my people marched around that city in complete silence. Can you imagine how hard that was? They could see the enemy mocking them from the walls, they could hear the laughter, they could feel the ridicule. Every instinct in them wanted to shout back, to defend themselves, to explain what they were doing, but I commanded silence. And in that silence, something was happening in the spiritual realm that they could not see. The foundation of those walls was cracking. The structure was weakening, the enemy's confidence was turning into confusion, and on the 7th day, when I finally gave them permission to shout, the walls that seemed impenetrable came crashing down with one coordinated sound. Your situation is following the same pattern. You are in the silent march right now. The enemy is mocking you. People are questioning you, circumstances are taunting you, but do not be fooled by what you see. In the invisible realm, the walls that have been holding you back are already cracking, the obstacles that seemed permanent are already weakening, the barriers that felt impenetrable are already on the verge of collapse. And when I finally tell you to speak, when I finally give you permission to open your mouth, the sound that comes out of you will not be defensive, it will be declarative. It will not be reactive, it will be prophetic. It will carry so much authority that every wall in your life will come tumbling down, but until that moment arrives, I need you to stay silent. I need you to trust the process. I need you to keep marching even when it makes no sense. Here is what I am doing in your silence that you cannot see. I am repositioning people. That person who was blocking your blessing is being moved out of the way. That individual who was spreading lies about you is about to be exposed. That situation that seemed permanent is about to shift overnight. I am also repositioning you. I am moving you from defense to offense. I am shifting you from reaction to authority. I am elevating you from victim to victor, but this repositioning cannot happen while you are still engaged in the argument. Think of it like this: you are in a boxing ring and your opponent keeps trying to bait you into a fight, but I am in your corner telling you to step out of the ring entirely, not because you cannot win the fight, but because there is no fight. The battle is already over, I already won it. The outcome is already determined. So why are you still shadowboxing with people I already defeated? Why are you still explaining yourself to people whose opinions do not matter? Why are you still defending your choices to people who will never understand your calling? Your silence is you stepping out of that ring. It is you refusing to engage in a battle that is beneath you. It is you recognizing that your energy is too valuable to waste on people who are not assigned to your future, and the moment you step out of that ring, the moment you disengage from that argument, the moment you stop trying to prove yourself, that is when you will see me step into the ring on your behalf. And trust me, when I fight for you, the victory is guaranteed. Let me show you one more example that will seal this in your spirit. Jesus standing before Pilate, the governor of Rome is interrogating him, the crowd is screaming for his crucifixion, his disciples have abandoned him, his reputation is being destroyed, and Pilate looks at him and says, "Do you not know I have the power to crucify you or release you?" This was Jesus' moment to defend himself. This was his opportunity to set the record straight. This was his chance to explain who he really was, but he did something that shocked everyone in that room. He stayed silent. Think about the weight of that silence. Every religious leader watching expected him to debate theology. Every Roman soldier expected him to beg for mercy. Every disciple hiding in fear expected him to call down legions of angels. But Jesus understood something that transcended the moment. His silence was not just restraint, it was revelation. He was demonstrating that the accusations of men have no power over the approval of heaven. He was showing that when you know who you are, you do not need to convince anyone else. He was proving that real authority does not defend itself because it does not need defending. Here is what most people miss about that scene. In his silence, Jesus was actually speaking. He was declaring through his calm demeanor that Pilate's power was temporary, but his purpose was eternal. He was proclaiming through his peaceful countenance that their mockery could not touch his mission. He was announcing through his refusal to argue that he did not need their understanding to fulfill his assignment. His silence was the loudest sermon ever preached on the power of trusting God over defending yourself. Why? Because he knew something that Pilate did not know. He knew that his silence was about to trigger the greatest comeback in human history. He knew that 3 days later that silence would explode into a resurrection that would change the world forever. He knew that his refusal to defend himself in that moment would result in billions of people defending him for eternity. His silence was not weakness, it was wisdom. It was not surrender, it was strategy, it was not defeat. It was the setup for the ultimate victory. And here is what I need you to grasp. Every moment you stay silent when you want to defend yourself, you are participating in that same resurrection power. Every time you refuse to argue when provoked, you are tapping into that same strategic wisdom. Every instance you choose trust over control, you are aligning yourself with the same victory that rolled the stone away. Your silence is not making you invisible, it is positioning you for an undeniable comeback. So here is your assignment. First, guard your mouth. When people provoke you, when they push your buttons, when they try to pull you into an argument, your mouth becomes a vault. Lock it, seal it. Throw away the key, let your silence be your answer. Let your peace be your response. Let your trust in me be your defense. Because anything you say in that moment will only make things worse, but your silence will make them wonder what you know that they do not. Second, guard your circle. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your struggles, your story. You have been bleeding out because you are giving your pearls to people who cannot even recognize diamonds. Some folks are not in your life to celebrate you, they are there to monitor you. They are intelligence agents for the enemy, gathering information to use against you later, so stop sharing your dreams with people who are not qualified to handle them. Stop seeking validation from people who are intimidated by your calling. Stop explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds about you. Third, guard your mind. The battle is not just around you, it is within you. Those thoughts telling you that you need to defend yourself, those voices saying that you are being weak by staying quiet, those feelings screaming that you are letting them get away with it, those are not coming from me. They are coming from the enemy trying to get you out of position, so you need to take every thought captive, you need to filter every feeling through my word. You need to silence the internal noise by filling your mind with my truth. When your thoughts start racing, quote Scripture. When your emotions start escalating, pray in the Spirit. When your flesh starts demanding vindication, remind yourself of my promises. This is not just religious routine, this is spiritual warfare. You are fighting a battle for your destiny, and the weapon I have given you is your silence. But you have to wield it with intention, you have to guard it with vigilance, you have to protect it with prayer. Here is what is about to happen when you master this level of obedience. Every person who came against you is going to watch in shock as I elevate you. Every door that was closed is going to swing open. Every opportunity that was blocked is going to suddenly manifest. Every blessing that was delayed is going to overflow. And they are going to wonder, what happened? How did this person go from being attacked to being celebrated? How did they go from being talked about to being sought after? How did they go from being cancelled to being promoted? And the answer will be simple. They learned to let God fight their battles. They discovered the power of divine silence. They understood that their vindication was not in their voice but in their victory, and that victory starts with trusting me enough to stay quiet while I speak. Loud enough for the whole world to hear. If you are feeling that fire rising in your spirit right now, if this word is hitting you in a place you did not even know needed to be touched, I want you to leave a comment and just type the words "I trust you." Not for me, for you. Because when you type those words, you are making a declaration that shifts something in the atmosphere. You are activating faith that moves mountains. You are releasing authority that silences the enemy. So do not just think it, type it, declare it, seal it with your action. So here is my final word to you. Your silence is sacred. It is not a sign that you have given up, it is proof that you have leveled up. It is not evidence of weakness, it is evidence of wisdom. You are not being passive, you are being positioned. You are not surrendering, you are strategizing. You are not losing. You are about to win in a way that will leave everyone speechless. Stay quiet, stay faithful, stay focused. Because your breakthrough is not coming through your voice, it is coming through your victory, and that victory is closer than you think. The vindication you have been praying for is about to manifest. The justice you have been crying out for is about to arrive. The elevation you have been believing for is about to happen, not because you defended yourself, but because you let me defend you. Not because you spoke up, but because you stayed silent and let my actions speak louder than any words ever could. Welcome to your season of divine silence. Welcome to the strategy that will change everything. Welcome to the victory that starts with your willingness to close your mouth and watch me work. This is not the end of your voice, this is the beginning of your authority, and when I finally tell you to speak, the world will never be the same.